Ollie, I think when he was first born, he was our first child. He was also the first in my family, so we didn't really have anyone to kind of compare him to. I guess over a period of years and time, we thought something was amiss, particularly my wife, Victoria, taking him to mothers' groups, and he was very difficult to put down at night and get him to sleep. He wasn't great at breastfeeding. Victoria had difficulty with that, and I guess we thought something was slightly amiss, and it wasn't until he was in kinder and the kinder teacher spoke to my wife and said, look, we've had a couple of children come through who have similar behaviours and similar traits who've gone on to be diagnosed with autism spectrum disorders. So after the kinder teacher said that, she spoke to a paediatrician, and then obviously we went through the process of getting him diagnosed, and that took a long time as well. He's a borderline case. They finally made the diagnosis, which was earlier this year, and he was 6 and about to start prep when he got his diagnosis. Not at all. Yeah, I wouldn't know much about it. Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man is my would have been the extent of my knowledge. So I was particularly ignorant to it, and I think my wife was a bit more aware of it. Her sister works with children as well, so I think she was a bit more understanding of what it meant and what it entailed, and yeah, what the traits were of autism spectrum, children on the spectrum. So Oliver's a really intense boy, and I think that's the thing that we struggle with. When he's interested in something, he's really interested in it and he's really engrossed with it, and he is just fascinated by the world and wants to know how everything works. And because of that, I think he also gets quite tired. He's not really in touch with his emotions, and he's not good at communicating his emotions as well. He gets very absorbed in whatever he's doing, and he's not really interested in socialising or being part of a group with other children. I think that's, I guess, the main concern for us, but we're also learning to accept that that's him as well. He absorbs a lot, and he knows a lot, and he's quite a smart boy, but you don't see that until you really dig and you spend some time with him and you really find what he wants to talk about with him. Part of the whole learning about it is, as a parent, is learning to understand those kind of things as well. That to be a bit more accepting of other people's of their behaviour. We've been looking for help for ever since we found out about it, and we started speaking to our paediatrician, and we also took Oliver to social skills group, and with the diagnosis we were able to then through Autism Victoria signed up and were assigned somebody that we could liaise with, and just from mailing lists found out about workshops that were available, and yeah, anything that comes up that we can go to and find out more about what's involved and how to deal with it, and best practices and approaches, any information, any guidance that we can get, we take. Workshop was great for multiple reasons. I think getting together with all the other parents and sharing stories is both therapeutic and inspirational, and getting other ideas. So that's a major aspect of it, and I'm sure hosting those workshops, you see that the parents will be talking to each other and communicating with each other a lot, and so just getting together like that is a big part of it. And also you feel like you can help others. Like there's people talking about things that they're struggling with, and there's things that have worked for you that you can teach or give them ideas that may help them, and conversely you get a lot of ideas to help you as well. So certainly that sharing your stories with other parents and sharing ideas with other parents is hugely beneficial. Just taking the time to both as a couple sit back and think about where we're at and what's going on, and just that mental space to look at the situation and contextualize it a bit more is a big benefit as well. The day-to-day grind of being a parent, you don't get much time to sit down with your wife or your partner to discuss those things. So just getting a day together to actually discuss this thing and have lunch together is quite nice, as sad as that sounds. Is nice, and talk about those things and focus on Oliver and what we can do to help him is nice. What we learnt from the workshop as well is really invaluable, and I think the couple of key things that I learnt from the workshop was to approach one behaviour at a time as well. I think as a parent you get quite overwhelmed with lots of different things that are going on that you're struggling with, and to be able to go, okay, let's think about taking one behaviour and let's look at how often that behaviour is occurring. Let's look at why it's occurring and what are the consequences. And the way you guys broke that down for us to, in an easy way for us to think about and to approach changing that one behaviour was great as well. It was also really nice to share those positive things about your child as well and what's special about them, because I think there's a lot to be celebrated. There is a lot to be celebrated about children on the spectrum. Yeah, I think it's nice to hear others celebrating them as well and take that from them. So. Fathers raising kids with autism. Look, I was really encouraged by how many parents and how many fathers were at the workshops. I've been to 2 workshops now, and it's been great to see a lot of fathers. I remember doing pregnancy yoga with my wife, and I was the only guy there, and so it was really encouraging to see dads coming along. And I think it's something that dads really should be doing. It helps understand who your child is and helps give you some tools and techniques to help you relate to them and help them function in society and help them make sense of the world that they're in. Particularly, I think if you've got boys, if you're a father and you've got boys who are suffering from it, you know, we're the role models for those boys as well, and we need to help them understand what they're going through and how they perceive the world, how they're different from others, and that's okay as well. That's actually that they're a wonderful person, and they should understand themselves better and be more self-assured in who they are. I think you'll definitely walk out having a far greater perspective on what your child is going through. Hearing from the other people and hearing about what they're going through and what struggles and things they're celebrating about their child is just, it's nice, and you can relate to it, and it gives you a bit more context to what you're going through, and you'll come out of it again feeling like you've got some ideas and some approaches that you can try. Like, often that's been a big thing for us, is that we don't quite know how to approach dealing with some of the behavioural things. So to have all of a sudden some kind of framework that you can use in a day-to-day environment, and some really easy and practical tools to use as well, is really beneficial and really helpful.